In this lesson, we're going to take a look at project properties. So there are a couple different ways to get to the project properties. The first way is you can right-click on the project itself and select Properties, or you can be focused on the project and hit Alt-Enter. That will bring up some project properties for this project. Or you can go to the Project menu and select Properties. Now when we do this, there are many different things that we can work with about this project. So what we can see is there are resources available with this project that talks about where the path of the project is, where it's located when it was last built, the encoding information about text file line delimiters. And here we see some different linked resources that we're using, any filters we want to add, the Java builder that we're using, if we have any other builders that might be added in here, the build path which we configure to add jars, add libraries, the coding style which we can change the project specific settings to do different things if we'd like to, the compiler. We can again determine if we want to use a project specific setting for this and determine different things that we'd like to add. And the same thing for the editor. We'd like to do some stuff on save, such as perform some formatting. We can turn that on if we'd like to. We've seen the JavaDoc location where we can generate JavaDocs too. Here we can talk about any references we need to add in. Here you can look at any refactoring you've done to see specific history on what you've performed on this code. And here are our run or debug settings where we have different run configurations. We have 2 unit test run configurations set and 1 regular program run configuration. And here's some tasks, task tags, and some validation that you can turn on if you'd like to validate things like HTML syntax, JSP syntax, XML syntax, XSLT validation, etc. And if there's some sort of wiki text validation you'd like to do, you can turn that on as well. But essentially every time you make changes you would hit apply to save those changes and OK to make sure they're applied to your system. And then you would be able to have all of your properties configured specifically in a way that you'd like to for this specific project. So that wraps up our look at project properties.